Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Well, Nick Collier here again, and you know, I got another day off. I get to play a little bit. So I'm really enthused about this roller, so I hooked up the hand-operated approach while I'm waiting for the rest of the parts to mechanize this. And we're cutting 6-inch lengths at this bit of an arch here, and once I cut those 3 lengths, I'll lay it out and show you what I have in mind. So hang in there. We're going to have a little fun. Okay, and since I don't have a little hand-operated power hacksaw, and I definitely don't want to hand saw this, we're going to just take the torch here and burn off a section. Of course, when the torch fires up. Okay, here it is, the beginnings of another piece. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I think we've got a good start. Something, for me it's a little too symmetric, but you know, we can still play with it. I'm thinking maybe bring it in like this. Yeah, that looks a little better. I mean, it's less symmetric. How about bringing this piece in just a tad? Now that gets symmetric again, doesn't it? Forget that. Well, that's a good start. We'll start there and see what we come up with. Okay, well, I brought it over here close to the welder rather than bring the welder all the way back over there. And when I set it down, it set down funny, and I went, ooh, this is not bad. And then I took and rolled these up to give it a little bit more three-dimensionality. Now I think what I want to do is roll this down. And that'll give it kind of a reverse effect. Let's see what we can do about bringing that in. Something like that. Yeah. Let me get the welder. Where's it at? There it is. My mask. Okay, continuing with this process, we're going to rough out some better fitting angles to slide into this piece. All right, so we slide this in, and this goes into this corner. And this is going to come up somewhere right around in here. Let's get a marking chalk. So we can figure out where it's going to land. Someplace like right there. This is going to be our landing spot. And actually we want this to be there and there, and this to arch this. Actually goes this way. All right, we'll take it over and cut it out. See how it works. Yeah, that's good, but I want it up a little closer and bring that gap together a bit. So we're going to cut the bottom off of that a little bit more and see if we can get a better fit too. All right, let's take it over and we're going to just tack weld these corners just to see what's up and go from there. Okay, so I think this is pretty much the angle I want. Now what I want to do is come in and mark my center line here and my center line here, and then come in and put drill holes about, well, I don't know, every 2 inches or so. So I think the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and mark our center line. And that's going to be right about there. Of course, I need a pin that's actually going to mark. Okay, we've got all of our measurements all the way down to the bottom. And then on the other side, on this bar here, we have a whole series of measurements too. Now, I'm going to take the bars off and drill holes in the places where I marked. So I'll be back. So we've got this part put together. It's just tacked in place and just sitting there. We're going to take it over and weld it, but this part came out pretty good, didn't it? Not too bad. Now, I want to do something over here. I'm not quite sure what yet, but we're going to play with that until we get that figured out. I may have to, dream on it a little bit. Okay, we rolled a piece of tubing into a full circle, about 26 inches, and the tubing roller was just a bit off, which is good because that means I could get it on and off of the roller. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. But now this has to push down. I'm going to show you how hard it is. This stuff has turned into steel. I can't get it down. I can just barely get it down with all my weight. So what I'm going to do, and I've tried several different approaches, so I welded a little tab onto here so I can actually have a flat to land on, and then we'll drag it down, and I think I can kind of get a good bite there. I'm going to slide this piece of metal in here so that it drags it outwards, because it's about a 1/4 inch too close. Yeah, we're probably 500-600 degrees. Not enough to really do a whole lot, but it just helps the metal just kind of relax just a little bit. And this is probably in pretty good shape. Let's see what we can do here. All right, I need to get some other kind of protection here because it's still fairly warm. We're going to slide this right up here, and it's going to go right in that spot right there. Oh my God, and it fits perfect. Look at that. That's going to be just right. Hey, Nick Collier here, and we're still working on this sculpture project. I've taken a piece of copper, I don't know what gauge it is, probably 16, 18 gauge maybe, and I cut out a circle out of it, I think 23 inches, and I cut a circle out, and then I folded over one end to kind of give it a little bit of strength, and now what I'm doing is I'm dishing it by just tapping it with the hammer over and over and over. Oh my God, a billion taps and it still isn't done. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, and you can kind of see how it's going to come out. Let me bring that in closer so you can actually see it. Well, good morning, Nick Collier here. It's the end of August, and it's been hotter than a pistol and drier than a popcorn fart, and it just started raining this morning. Like it clouded over and started raining all within about 45 minutes. Oh, it is so cool. So, you know, it just stopped a few minutes ago, or it's kind of taking a rest. Let's hope it's taking a rest. We're moving on with this project here, and I realized that this whole back section here is too much. So I'm gonna just cut the shit out of this thing and drop this whole section off and bring a bar similar to this across the face of this, and then attach each one of these bars back to this bar here so that we have a nice consistent completion there. So we're going to take I'm not sure how we're going to approach it here. I might just come in with the sawzall and sawzall these things, because that leaves me a nice clean edge. But we're going to play with that and see how it goes. Ah yes, and it just started raining again. Nice, it did just take a rest. Alright, forget that bullshit. It'd work probably pretty good if I had a decent blade, and I have one that is absolutely worn out, and it's one of those Harbor Freight blades, which, if you know, they last about 33 seconds, and then you got to replace them. They are cheap, but it's more hassle to replace it. So let's get out the torches and really whip this baby out. Okay, somewhere along there the battery went dead, and of course you missed out on that part. But we've got a bit of a curve going here. Where's my bar? There it is. We're going to drop this in here just about like that and catch that curve. And I think that looks pretty good. Now, of course, we got a bunch of gaps here. And I think what we need to do is go ahead and just weld those, grind those out, and that won't take too bad. It won't be too bad. So I think that's our next step. All right, next step in this whole process is, I don't know, about a year or so ago I made this radius tool, and I don't get to use it that often, so it's exciting when I can use it. So basically we've set up from center line to the cutting edge as 3/4 of an inch, because this is 1.5 inch stock. And we're going to slide this in till it just starts to touch right about there. Tighten it up. Oops, nope, got to tighten up this side first. Now slide this side down. Crank it up. Okay, we've got our piece of tubing here. Now what I'm wanting to do is just cap this off and kind of give it a final look. So basically we can just pretty much just flop it in there, and that's going to give it a kind of a completion there. Now what I'm going to do is bring it out here about that far and throw a weld on that. But for now, we'll just tack it in. Okay. Let's see if there's a way to get it so that we can throw a weld on it. I'm thinking we could just kind of hold on to it by hand. Let me see if you can see this. Yes, you can. We're going to swing you around anyhow. Bring it in a little closer. Something like that. How's that? Okay, let's get rid of some stuff. Things are beginning to pile up. All right. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm thinking it'd be better to put it over here in the vise. All right, we've got this thing set up in the vise. Let's put our little plug in. See if we can get just a little bit of space there. Tack it in. That looks like we might want just a little bit more space on the other side. Looks good. Let me spin it just a little bit and get a tack going on the other side. Nice bead. How does that look? Not too bad. Of course you can't see it, but from a distance of 10 feet, you're not going to see this at all. So let's do the other side and we'll have a done deal here. Okay, we've got our piece completed here. It wants to go in here somewhat like this. We're going to put it in and tack it in place and kind of muscle around each one of these things till they fit. But for right now, just a tack. Okay, we got all our little metal rods back in. Now we're going to go ahead and just tack in these three, and we'll be set, at least tack-wise. And what I want to do is test all of these and make sure they're not going to fall out. And we can probably bring this in a little closer. Now we don't have to. Okay, we got a good tack going there. Let's spin it around and do one on the other side just to make sure we're there. Okay, Nick Collier here, and we're looking at coming up with a pretty tight arch for that next step. So here we go, more muscle. And one of these days soon I'm going to have this other tool, or this tool motorized, so I don't have to do this. But for now, this is what we got. Okay, let's try this and see what that's going to look like. How about if we drop this one right here, a little bit stronger of an arch. Oh, damn. Where's the other one? Oh, no, this is the scrap. Okay, this is the good one. Okay, so that we drop that in there, a little bit stronger of an arch, and then we come in with a piece of round material to go in right there to finish off this outside, this one end. I think that comes really close to what I want. So, you know, of course we're going to machine this down to so it's more roundy. But yeah, that of course is for another day. And we will be back.